Yo, what's up? My name's Retro Pat, and I'm gonna stop you right now. Go get a snack, go get a drink, go stretch, grab some water, get prepared because this is easily gonna be my longest video ever, probably. This isn't a mashup of different pickup videos put here and there over months' times. This is one giant video showing all of my pickups over pretty much a year's time. There are tons of things behind me, as well as things right here you might not really be able to see off camera. I haven't had the time to put together a pickups video. And the last pickups video I did was like 30 or 40 minutes long, and it ended up getting lost due to a hard drive failing. So that really demotivated me after editing it and doing all the work into it from doing another pickups video. But I'm back, and I want to do them again. And boy, do we have a lot of video games to cover today, from PS1, PS2, N-Gage, PSP, graded video games, little figures, toys, trinkets, posters, wall decor, signs. There's so much to talk about, so much to do. Let's go ahead and jump into it. If you enjoy your time here, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more video game content. I do everything under the sun here, from video game reviews to pickups, kind of speculation stuff, anything of the sort. Just talking about what I enjoy. It's a passion project channel, and I love video games. I have a passion for video games, whatever form that may take. Destroy All Humans is going to be in the background here just because it's a game that I've been playing recently, and it's a fantastic PS2 game. Replaying it, I never beat it as a kid, so I'm going to be able to beat it as an adult and move on to Destroy All Humans 2. Last quick note, there is also stuff I'm not including in this video that I know was bought within the last year, just as it'd be a pain to do. I bought a lot of 15 Japanese Wiis. I bought a lot of a bunch of other various consoles that I have since fixed up. I think it was 2 PS3s, 2 fat PS2s, stuff like that, an Xbox 360. There's random console stuff that's huge, annoying to move, that I've talked about previously a little bit on the channel, but not really gone in depth on, that I'll just be skipping over for the time being. So not absolutely everything is going to be mentioned, but most purchases or pickups over the past year. All right, let's jump into it. First pickup, I want to start off with something niche and something that I've fallen in love with but haven't had the time to properly put into it. The Nokia N-Gage. This was a cell phone based mobile video game console that came out in around the mid 2000s, 2004, 2005, 2006 era, if I'm not mistaken. This is the QD version. There is a previous version known as the Taco phone, which is a lot wider and taco shaped. Really interesting little device. Think of a Game Boy type device with more middle line to PS1 graphics. Kind of not, I don't want to compare it to the PSP. The PSP is much better. Doesn't have an analog stick, but it's more comparable to it's a PS1 on the go in some ways, with less graphical capabilities than a PS1. And it was around 10 years. It was late to come to the party, and it just didn't really. It's a failed console, but I love it. I love the N-Gage. I think it's super interesting, super cool, and I am super fortunate to pick up one of the holy grails for it. Probably the holy grail for the N-Gage, or I'd say one of them. The one that most gamers will care about as well. Quick note, it's an Elder Scrolls game. There is a secret hidden Elder Scrolls games that even the biggest Elder Scrolls fans may not know about. It is the Elder Scrolls Shadowkey. Hopefully it can, there we go, focus. Elder Scrolls Shadowkey. It was an N-Gage only title. I don't have the case for it, unfortunately. It is cart only, but I got this for an absolute steal on eBay. This is like this is a $150 like cart. Niche game for a niche console. I got it for around 60 or 70, I believe, on eBay. It was an absolute steal. Someone put it up for auction, and they had best offer open, and I sent them a best offer of 60 or something, and they just took it, and I was mind blown. I couldn't believe it, for such an expensive and really, really hard to find game. Now, it didn't come with the case, unfortunately. It was just cart only, but at least I can play one of the most interesting. It's a full. It's not some mobile Elder Scrolls game. It is a full. I'm talking like 3D world. You turn like Morrowind's type open world Elder Scrolls experience on a phone. It is technologically mind-blowing. I haven't gone super far into it. I really want to put more time into it. You have to really sit down and focus, and I've never been a huge fan of just mobile devices in general, even though I love this, or mobile game consoles. It's a lot to sit down and focus and squint your eyes and really focus on like this very, very deep RPG. It's tough to, it's a tough play, but the game looks good so far, and I'm really enjoying it, honestly, and I couldn't be happier with it and with that deal. You'll notice throughout this video, I'm a huge deal hunter. I'll buy pretty much any video game at around 30% value or less. I'll buy a lot of things that are 33%. I'll buy most things on a budget. It's something I really care about. I'll collect any and everything on a budget. It's what I enjoy. So we also have a couple more games for the N-Gage. We have Sonic N, which this just breaks my heart. I sliced, while opening the package, the only time I've ever done this, I sliced, you can so clearly see it, a knife went straight through the cover of this, like a $40 game. I bought these in a lot, a 4-game lot. Pandemonium, really fun. This is a great game, really fun 2D platformer, also released for the PS1, I believe. The Sonic N, which I just covered. Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, a really fun little mobile release for the N-Gage. Really fun, works really well. And Tomb Raider, I have been really enjoying Tomb Raider on the N-Gage. I really never liked, this is gonna tilt some people, never liked PS1 Tomb Raider. It always, the controls, I think if you go back and try to play Tomb Raider on PS1, it has some of the worst aging controls of any video game I've ever played, in my opinion. Tomb Raider on N-Gage feels better than Tomb Raider on PS1, to me personally. Really strange, really weird claim, I know, but I love N-Gage Tomb Raider. What can I say? As I talk about in complete games, I am going to go ahead and go add them to my shelf, which is really nice because they've been unorganized forever, kind of piling them up, keep them for this video. So be able to finally organize all the stuff that I've picked up, that's going to be a super nice feeling. I'm super excited to just finally have it on the correct shelf, not all compiled into one thing, mishmash. I don't like that. I want it to be organized. Also, before I forget, you might have noticed the Bugs Life Standee. The first Standee I've ever bought. I wanted to jump into the Standee and sort of, this year, I've jumped aggressively into the Standee sign sort of visual decor game as I sort of have my own place now. I mean, I've had my own place for a while, but this is my new place. And I'm going to be moving with my girlfriend over the next year or so, and I want to start having a game room set up or some sort of collectible visual experience. I think it should be a lot of fun. I love this Bugs Life Standee. It might be missing some pieces. It's hard to tell, but you got the fat Caterpie, fat bug, you know, playing too much Pokemon clearly. The fat bug worm guy there. We've got, you know, Flick. We've got the grumpy ladybug. Love him. And then is this Hopper? I always forget. And then the one girl. I love Bugs Life. It's technically a poster for the movie, but it does actually have a little thing on it. There's a little thing on the side, you can't see it, that actually advertises the PS1 game. And I thought that was really cool, even though it's technically for the movie. I love this Standee. I think it looks sick. I got it for like $30, which in my opinion, Disney name brand Standee looks awesome. Really big, shockingly big. $30. I'm really happy with that. If I wanted to, I could sell it for more, but I see myself keeping it for the time being. And I love Standees. I'm really interested in them. They're very cool. We're going to stick with the theme of handheld consoles. I'm going to move on quickly to two GBA games. Crash Bandicoot 2, Entranced. I love Crash on GBA. I've talked about it many times on this channel. I think Crash on GBA is wildly underrated. It almost feels like Crash was meant to be 2D, like the 2D graphics of Crash on GBA. I think they look beautiful. I think the games play really well. You do encounter some of those classic 2D platform issues on GBA of like an enemy kind of popping up out of nowhere from like a really short having a short FOV, not being able to see much of the screen. Sometimes happens, but like it's kind of Crash Bandicoot's always kind of been like that. Crash Bandicoot's always kind of been like a die and learn what happens next sort of game. So it's okay. I think it works really. I think Crash Bandicoot on GBA just is phenomenal. And that's the one this is one I haven't played. I played Crash Purple and Huge Adventure as a child, and I've replayed them as an adult, and I loved them. They were incredible for nostalgia. I don't have any nostalgia for this game, but I'm enjoying it so far. I played the first part. I haven't done the first boss. I'm at the first boss, but I haven't beaten it. But I 100%ed Crash Purple on GBA, and I want to 100% Huge Adventure. Huge Adventure is one of my favorite Crash games of all time. And speaking of Huge Adventure, I have something to show off related to that. We'll get to that in a quick sec. More poster stuff. But next up is just a really eBay deals, eBay snipes. I mean, it's already a pretty cheap game, but just a Japanese. I have these plastic cases for them, and I honestly want to fill them up. Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh game. It was $5. I think it was $4, $4 or $5 shipped for a nice little shelf piece. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to play. I can't read Japanese. I'm not going to be able to play a Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh game. But I don't know. Looks cool. I like it. Love the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. Who doesn't? It's a cool little pickup for $5 for a Japanese complete in box Game Boy game. I'll take it. All right, continuing the handheld theme, I have one little knickknack that I want to show off that I love. This is a niche, rare piece related to the N-Gage. This comes from, I believe it was E3 1993, I believe. Really, really old. Sorry to anyone born around that era. I probably should use that term lightly when making retro video game content as a 1998 baby. Nokia N-Gage themed playing cards. I haven't opened them yet. Let's go ahead and see if I can get it to focus on it. It advertises it. Wireless it's not really going to focus. Wireless multiplayer gameplay, in-game 3D graphics, game titles from top publishers, MP3 player, built-in phone. And there you can see like the original taco design of the phone. What a weird little wacky little promotional thing. N-Gage playing cards from E3 1993, if I'm not mistaken. It was $5 shipped, because something like this, it pops up on eBay and it was an auction. Who's looking for this? You find this stuff, you can find a lot of weird niche stuff on eBay auctions for cheap, because if you auction off something like this, it's so niche. Who's looking for it? That I was just lucky. I was searching for the term N-Gage and I found them, and I'd happily pay. I'd pay more for this, like 20 bucks. It's a cool little knickknack that I don't know, I'm excited to have. Next up, PSP stuff. I talked about quickly. I bought a lot of PSPs, a lot of 5. I'll go ahead and hold them all up and then we'll go through them one by one. Picked up a lot of 5 Japanese PSPs, and I think 3 of them work. 2 of them work flawlessly. One of them, I think the red one, has one full dead line of pixels across the screen, but it still works. And honestly, it's one line of pixels. It's really small. You don't really, I mean, you notice it, but like, you can definitely play any game through that really, really easily. Unfortunately, the 2 coolest colors, the blue and the orange, I would have loved if the orange worked. They do not work. Unfortunately, they're dead. I bought this lot once again for parts. I bought it for parts, 5 Japanese PSPs, and 3 of them just work. That's how a lot of, like, that's why I love buying lots of consoles for parts. Like, I was like, my kind of thought process was, man, I really want to get into PSP collecting. I want to jump off my collection. Should I go buy a for sure working North American PSP for like $100 and then maybe some games? Maybe I'll pay like $130 for like a PSP plus like 2 to 3 games, common games, or I could pay $60 for 5 Japanese consoles that are for parts, not working, and I take a little bit of a risk. Maybe I could fix them up. And yeah, that's what I chose with, and I went with these, and I ended up modding one of the black ones. I forget which one. One of them is fully modded, and man, I was shocked. Modding PSP was wildly easy. I was blown away. I think most of them are PSP 3000 model, if I'm not mistaken, as well, which is obviously the one that most people want, and there's a little bit of a contention between. I think they might all be PS3 3000. I think they all might be. I think they all are, which is really cool. Really great PSPs. They look awesome. It's really cool to have multiple of them. I've played a little bit of the games. I really enjoyed this one. Call of Duty Roads to Victory. I bought this for like 12, 13 bucks while out at a local store. I think it was also like a little bit of a deal, like a 15% off or some sort of percent. Not a crazy deal on this, but it was 17 on price trading at the time, and I think has hence gone down. I really enjoyed this. I haven't beaten it. I've beaten like the first couple missions. Really, really fun little PSP experience. I don't know. It's very simple. It's very, very, very simple, but I really enjoyed it. FPSs on the PSP feel a little strange, but I think it worked. It's a fun little casual shoot 'em up experience. And then a Japanese. This was bought at a local store, which blew my mind, because where are you getting Japanese PSP games at a local store? But I found this one, Final Fantasy Decidua. It's a fighting game, so it can be played. Both these, I mean, this one, all the Japanese PSPs, I should preface, all of the system languages have been changed to English. So I've changed all of the languages on these to English. Now the games, Japanese games still run in Japanese. So you have to be able to, like, get through the menus and stuff. But a lot of games are playable through the Japanese language. And then PSP is region free, so I can play all English games on these Japanese PSPs as well. So I should go ahead and preface all of that. They are technically Japanese PSPs. The only downside is I can't access the North American online PSP shop, but I don't care about that. It is technically, I can only connect to like the Japanese shop or whatever. But yeah, that's the quick little, they work the same. If you want to get like those region free consoles, going for cheaper Japanese variants is really, really fun in my opinion, and really worth going for on a lot of them. Continuing on, yeah, Final Fantasy Restore. I haven't played it too much, but visually this is a great way to show off the PSP's visual capabilities. Absolutely gorgeous game. I also did download God of War on the hacked one for it, and I really want to play that. It's like one of the PSP classics, but I want to play God of War 2 and 2 first on PS2, and then we'll explore that series, that franchise a bit more. But that is it for some of that more handheld stuff. Moving on. All right, continuing more handheld stuff, which is funny because handheld doesn't really make up much of what I collect. I think I mostly collect stationary consoles, specifically Xbox 360 is like probably my favorite console of all time right now, which is a funny thing. If you asked me 4 years ago, I'd have definitely said PS2, but I think 360 taking the cake for me. Love that console, best controller, great games, deep games. Anyways, cheap games right now. Back to handheld stuff. We've got a little 4-game lot of DS games. It was like $10 for this, just really cheap stuff. My weight loss coach, you probably could use it, but not gonna play that right now. There's a couple games that really matter. Honeycomb Beat, a little like cute. I love the look of this. Just a cute little puzzle game on the DS, made by Hudson, which is worth noting. Also, My Weight Loss was by Ubisoft, which is hilarious. Atari made Backyard Sports Sandlot Sluggers. I played this game on the 360. This is actually an updated version of the Backyard Sports, like backyard baseball, backyard football. Doesn't really have the same feel, the same nostalgia. It's not nearly as good of a game in my opinion. But I'm excited to try the DS version. I still haven't played this one. And the main reason I bought this lot, you're gonna laugh at me because it is a little cringe, but it's just so funny to me and hilarious to me. I bought this DS lot for Sprung. This is a like lewd-centric DS dating game. How many dating games or like M or T, this is a T-rated game, hilariously. There were not many like sexually suggestive DS games. This was the family-friendly console. Brain Age, Weight Loss Coach, Picross, like all these like little puzzle stuff. What? It's called Sprung, suggesting, like this is a crazy game to exist. We see pictures on here, a guy puppet stringing women, I guess. That's fucking this is crazy to me. This just blows my mind. This says hooked up. Like this is a wildly women in bikinis, woman smirking like crazily here. Her jawline is wild. Got friends, get benefits. This game is wild to me that this was on the DS, made by Ubisoft. This is just, I played the first mission of this and it just was hilarious how inaccurate and outdated and terrible this was. A lot of pressuring women in this game, pretty strange, but man, is it funny to own. Holy, you can tell. I mean, I wonder who wrote this game. It's just hilarious. I couldn't stop. I couldn't turn away from Sprung, okay? That was too good of a deal to pass up. $10 for Sprung, easy peasy. All right, and then the final, I believe final handheld game related thing I want to show you guys is one that I have to show you carefully because it is still in a big box, and I will say there's no games in here. It's just empty cases. I really enjoy collecting empty cases for a really cheap price and then picking up the games loose later and sort of combining them. I think it's a really satisfying part of like macro collecting, and I really encourage you trying it if you have the time. If you really think you're gonna collect for a long time, have the time, have the funds, have the space. I think it's a really cool way to collect. Not for everybody, but here we go. It's still in the box. You can see a bunch of empty case DS games. Specifically, the ones that I really like here are Call of Duty Black Ops. I believe there might be another one. I really want to get all the CODs. And Madden 08, those are games that I care about, that have connection to me. Cartoon Network Racing. There's this cool Spectrex game over here. Some random stuff, nothing super crazy, but some fun titles. Eminem's Kart Racing. I really liked Eminem games for whatever reason. There's an Eminem's PS1 game that's literally just a Crash Bandicoot clone in every sense of the word, but it's hilarious and there's some good memes behind it. And yeah, just some loose DS cases that one day I hope to fill. Now, it's time to talk about the console that I've been playing the most recently, and the console that I've been discovering for the first time because I never really played much of it before. I only really used it for minimal backwards capabilities, but I'm talking about the Xbox One. Specifically, man, this game, I'm gonna go grab it here in a sec. Rage 2 inspired me to play the Xbox One. This is one of the best video games. This sounds insane. A lot of people, this is a very, very mixed reviewed game. I was shocked. One of the best video games I've played in the past 1 to 2 years. I loved this game to death. It was so fun. I have hence tried to gone for full achievements, and I'm struggling on the Ultra Nightmare difficulty. Other than that, I've loved every second of the game, and I never got bored of it. But I don't love extreme difficulty in games. Sometimes it depends. And I do think the Ultra Nightmare difficulty and going for that achievement has made me sadly like love the game less, which is really, really sad. I'd like to get back to my casual playthrough, and I 100%ed everything else pretty much. I've done every single achievement in the game pretty much except for Ultra Nightmare difficulty, the Iron Man completion, which I'm excited for, which is like a 1 life to complete the whole storyline. That'll be a lot more fun in my opinion than the Ultra Nightmare difficulty, but we'll see. And then yeah, I've done like everything aside from like I think there's one more that's like destroy X amount of cars with the car. Yeah, some vehicular combat type stuff, but I've done every other single achievement on that game. I love it. It reinvigorated a love for me in the Xbox One. I actually even bought the DLC, which I never buy DLCs for games. I love Rage 2 so much. And that inspired me. I talked about it in a video, a really short video, just being excited about it, to pick up some other Xbox One games and try them out to very mixed results. I'll go ahead and go through what I mean by that. First things first, Fallout 4. This is a game that I've tried to play like 3 times for like 10 hours each. Guys, I can't get into Fallout 4. I don't know what other people's thoughts and opinions are. I cannot get it. I can't enjoy this game. I've tried so much. I've heard very mixed things on it. I hear mostly positive stuff. I really like the intro of Fallout 4. I think the intro is pretty good. I have a really hard time enjoying this game. I played it for 30 hours probably on 3 different occasions, and I just becoming the leader of the Minutemen as quickly as I did, fighting the I couldn't think of the name right now. Fighting the Deathclaw at the very beginning with the power armor. I hate the power armor mechanic. I hate that you beat a Deathclaw to be in the game. I'm a huge Fallout New Vegas boy through and through. I remember growing up, all my friends loved Fallout 3, and I didn't really catch Fallout. Fallout 3 is decent, but I never really got into it as much as New Vegas. I feel like everybody around me loved Fallout 3, and I loved New Vegas, and I never knew why. I never knew, like, as a 13-year-old, 15-year-old, I didn't know why until I found out, oh man, like, it's because, you know, Obsidian Entertainment came back to make this game. It wasn't done by Bethesda. It was done by the original Fallout creators. And I didn't care. That didn't mean anything to me as a 15-year-old, but you really realize now, like, how much more love is put into the game. The dialogues, the quests, the side quests, the expression, the speech system. Fallout New Vegas is a phenomenal game. It's in my top 10 games of all time. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. Fallout New Vegas is a phenomenal game. And Fallout 4 just doesn't do it for me. I've tried to get into this game, and I just cannot. So, unfortunately, maybe one day I'll play it. But Sunset Overdrive, it's a weird one. I didn't like this game at first. Man, it felt so... The movement felt almost too fluid, if that's weird. It felt too easy. Like, the movement in this game, it didn't feel satisfying. I think there wasn't enough... my biggest thing is, if this game just had slightly better sound design, I think it would have been an absolute masterpiece. This game is a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio, for those who don't know. You sort of grind on rails, jump around, grind on power lines, everything of the sort, do crazy combat. The game heavily punishes you for not grinding on something. If you are in the air, you need to be constantly roller skating on something, grinding on something. If you are standing on the ground, even if you're running around, the monsters will obliterate you. But if you're grinding just back and forth, you'll be super safe. Like, this game heavily punishes you for standing on the ground, which I think is really interesting. It's honestly pretty well balanced and pretty cool how they do that. Although it is kind of dumb that you can just kind of roller skate back and forth, and it's so good versus like on there. I think it's a little too much, but really, I completed it. I beat the game all the way through. It's a pretty fun game, pretty over the top. It was a little bit of a letdown for me. I will say, a little bit of a letdown. I wish it was better, but it is way too cheap. I don't know why. It's like $5, and it's a good game. It's a really good game. It's a fun game. It's a blast. The ending is strange. The ending is strange, is what I'll say. If you've played it, you'll know what I'm saying. It's weird. Also, like, the humor in this game, Sometimes it hits, sometimes it feels forced and cringe. This game does a lot of fourth wall breaks to the point where it's annoying, but that's kind of, it's supposed to be a satire game, but it's kind of the same thing as there's another game that copies RuneScape and jokes on that, but I forget what it's called, that does the same thing where like it leans into the satire so much that it actually devalues its experience. This is just a good game and a beautifully coded, greatly balanced, fantastic art style. It's a really good game. It shouldn't have been as jokey. You should like own up to your serious accomplishment. You made a great game. You should take it a little more serious, I feel like, as opposed to joking as much as they do. I actually think if this game was a little more serious orientated, it would have been a better game. But instead, it just ends up being a little too memey. It's also, you see here, there's like cartoon letters that scream off of interactions. That's really, really cool. The automatopoeia, when you like punch something, you see like a bam. So that's a very, very cool like comic book style to add to a game. That graphical inclusion is wildly interesting to me. And this game is really good, really good. Like an 8 out of 10, but it could have been so much better, like a 7.5. It could have been so much better. And it's had a lot of issues, but it's a great game. I could do a whole video on it, honestly. It's a really, really great game. Anyways, moving on. The Outer Worlds. Just started playing this semi-recently, but I've already put in like 15 hours. I would give it like a 9 out of 10 so far. Really solid game. The dialogue and the characters. It's an Obsidian game. This is made by the same people who made Fallout New Vegas. And I think Tim Kaine, who's one of the original creators of Fallout, came back for this game's decisions, if I'm not mistaken. It's a really, really, once again, kind of similar to Sunset Overdrive, almost suffers a little bit from the humor, but it's not overdone. The humor in this is not overdone. This has the wacky humor of Fallout while maintaining a new game and a new atmosphere and creating a really interesting world. This game is all about corporate greed versus insane anarchy, and it's just the two extremes, and it really makes you realize as you traverse this world, damn, everything would be so much easier if we could just meet in the middle. And it really just makes you appreciate like sort of life in the systems, and it makes you realize, man, dude, why these two extremes are just crazy. It's a really well timed game. It makes a lot of sense given the current climate of the world. It's a really good game. It's great. It's great. It has a really interesting, deep characters if you care about companions. Very companion-centric game. I'm not really a companion guy. I don't usually care about that stuff, but this game has companions that make me care. The first engineer girl you meet, Pavardi, one of the best designed, like, human-seeming characters I've ever seen. She can be a little cringy at times. You take her to a bar and she drinks and she's like a little funny, but whatever. But like, it's a great game. It's a great game. Yeah, Outer Worlds, I can't recommend it enough. I still have a lot to play for it. Great game. Now moving on to, I'm not joking, one of the worst video games I've ever played. I hate this game, and I have gone back and I've tried to play it 2 times now. I'm sorry to Modus. I'm sorry to the developers. No shame against you. I did not enjoy this game. Extinction. I hated everything about this game. Is frustrating. Everything about it is frustrating. Everything about it is clunky. Everything about it is unfun. Everything about it is a bad experience. I really, really, really vehemently do not enjoy this game at all. Looks awesome. It's cool at first. This has one of the most uninspired. I think this game reeks of, they had a very cool idea, a very cool Shadow of the Colossus style vision. That's what it feels like, where it's supposed to be this big, it's not an open world, but it feels like it was supposed to be this big open. It feels like what this game had big aspirations and didn't meet them at all and fell horribly, plummeting through the ground. I think that it was supposed to be a big open world where you kill giant monsters and it's these epic fights and it's really cool. What it actually ended up being is a level-based game where you go to these pillars and you just spam X. There's one attacking move. You spam X to kill the orcs around the pillars. You hold Y to save the civilians around the pillar, and then you go kill the monster, and that's it. It's it. It's the same gameplay loop over and over, and it's not fun. I love gameplay loops. I love monotony. I'm a shiny hunter full time for a living. If you don't know, my main channel, like, I love monotony more than anyone. I have, not to brag, maxed RuneScape account, maxed Ultimate Iron Man. If anyone loves monotony and grinding, it's me. This game is not it. It's trash. Don't buy it. Waste of $5-6. It's insane. Next up, Gears of War Ultimate Edition and the rare replay thing. this is one of the best deals in video games. It's kind of insane. This game is like $9. You get a remaster of Gears of War 1. I thought it came with Gears 2, 3, and the Judgment as well, but it does not. I think it did for a short period of time or something. There's some weird thing around it. The two-disc game. One of them's Rare Replay, and the other one is Gears of War. I played through both of these. The Rare Replay is a collection. Dude, oh my god, this is such a good deal. So you get the remastered of Gears 1. Fantastic game. Replayed through the entire remaster recently, and I loved every second of it. It's a really, really, really good game. Gears 1 is so good. And I started Gears 2, which I've never played. So I recompleted Gears 1, and now moving on over to Gears 2 and Gears 3 eventually, and I'll play the whole franchise that I missed growing up. The Rare Replay collection, this has Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Banjo Nuts and Bolts, Conker's Bad Fur Day. What's the other one? Battletoads. There's some other great games that I've been enjoying on it. This has so many incredible games. It is mind-blowing. There's some older, like 1985, 1986 NES titles on them that are incredible. I forget the one that I played that I really enjoyed. Like it's some wizards. It's something interesting. There's also the ghost spooky sort of what's it called? There's like a ghost spooky Halloween based 3D platformer from like the Xbox era that was like very hyped up, and it didn't do very great. But it's fun. It's still a fun horror based 3D platformer. It's just, if you like platformer games, get this ASAP. What are you doing? This is an insane deal. Conker's Bad Fur Day is like a multi-$100 N64 cart. Banjo-Kazooie's $30-$50. Banjo-Tooie $30-$50. $9 for this. This is like the most insane deal in video games. Go get this if you don't have it. Everyone should own this. Everyone should own this. It's insane. It's insane. It's an insane deal. It's a great game. Next up, speaking of Banjo-Kazooie, Yooka-Laylee, the spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. I don't think it has any of maybe some of the other I don't know if any of the team members from Rare went over to this, but this is from sound design, game design, the transitions between levels, everything about this is Banjo-Kazooie. And it's a really, really cool blast to the past of nostalgia. Now, does it really recapture the same love and beauty and nostalgia from Banjo-Kazooie? Kind of. It doesn't do as bad of a job as you would expect. I think it's actually pretty decent so far. I haven't played enough of it. I do think it does a really good job of actually being a more new age game. It looks really beautiful, and I love the graphic style and the art. And I think right now, I'm not as attached to Yuka and Laylee as much as I was with Banjo-Kazooie, and maybe I just need to like get to know these guys more. I've only played the couple hours. 2 to 3 hours or so of this game. I love the enemy. He just looks like Gru. It's stupid. Interesting game. The movement mechanics have been really fun so far and really good. I don't know what I would give it so far. Nothing crazy. It's like a 6 out of 10 so far, but I'm sure it'll get better. I haven't really played much of it, so that's my thoughts on those couple games. Now, I have a bunch more to cover really quickly. Don't worry. I told you this was going to be a long video, so we are just getting started. Now, these next Xbox One, we're still keeping on Xbox One games. These next games were all bought in a lot. Now, this lot cost me, I think it was $130. $130. And it's not just games. The important part about this lot is this. An Xbox One hard drive. This is 4 terabytes. Now, if you know, a 4 terabyte Xbox One hard drive already is like $120, $140. So I got this, essentially, I paid like the price for this, and then all of these games are free, and it's a lot of games. So think about it like that. I think the whole value of the lot was around $300. So I ended up paying $130 or so. Deal hunting once again for this, and then all these games. If you play Xbox One, you have to get an external hard drive. The fact that, and this is one of those, I hate, it's the worst thing about the Xbox One, but it almost feels satisfying and fun. You have to download every single game. If you want to play a game on Xbox One, you have to download every single game. It's a huge pain. It's a weird thing. It's so strange. I don't know why they did that, but it could be worse. It's kind of fun. It just takes so much time. Gone are the days of popping in a new game and playing it. You have to wait hours or at least 20-30 minutes, whatever, how fast your internet is, for something to download on the Xbox One to be able to play it, and it's a huge pain. It sucks. It's a really big pain. But 4 terabyte hard drive. Now my hard drive was full when I got it's crazy how fast you fill up a 500 gigabyte Xbox One, general hard drive. When you have even casual gamers, I feel like even casual gamers need to have one of these. This is like not a thing reserved for like the hardcore player. Even casuals, I feel like, need some sort of external hard drive for the Xbox One, because you just have so many games that are 50, 80 gigabytes. You could, install 10 games on an Xbox One hard drive, and then bam, it's full. 10 games? Like, even for a casual, that's pretty small. Anyways, continuing on to the lot itself, I'll go ahead and give you guys an overview, and then we'll go through each one by one. Gears 5, State of Decay, Dying Light, The Sinking City, State of Decay 2, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Crackdown 3, Halo Master Chief Collection, another copy of that Gears of War thing. We'll end up selling this one or trading into a local store. Wolfenstein, Mortal Kombat, Pac-Man, Gears of War 4, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Crisis Trilogy in a remastered thing I'm excited to play. Warhammer 40k. This was actually bought at a game. This was bought separately from this lot, so don't count that in the lot. And then The Walking Dead complete first season. So a lot of great games here. Since I actually forgot this was in there, I'll cover this. I bought this at a GameStop recently for $10. It's like a $30 game, 25 to 30. It's a Warhammer 40k game. Never been huge on the video games, but I'm always been interested in miniatures. Never played too much miniatures, but I'm interested, and I want to explore more of it. It seems like sort of like an RTS controlling units type game. So decided to try that out. Let's go ahead and just take piles out of this and go through them. So we had Gears 5. It's still sealed. I haven't opened it yet. I have no reason to, because I've only played Gears 1 and I'm still playing Gears 2. Well, yeah, maybe I'll open this to play it. Maybe I'll just buy another copy or get a copy in a lot or something. State of Decay. I don't throw it away. I don't know much about this game. Zombie survival. If it's good, let me know in the comments. I would love to see. I haven't gotten through all these games, obviously. Would love to see your guys' feedback on this. It'd be really, really cool. State of Decay, I don't know anything about besides zombie survival. Dying Light, I believe, is this the game, or am I confusing with a different zombie survival one? Is this the game that was made by the same people who made Left 4 Dead? I might be confusing it with a different one, but another zombie survival game, and I really, really want to play. I enjoy not Left 4 Dead. I'm so sorry. Dead Island. That's a huge misspeak. Apologies. Obviously, it's not made by Valve. What am I saying? Was Dying Light made by the same developers who made Dead Island? I don't think so, but I really like the Dead Island franchise. It's not perfect, has huge flaws, but it's interesting, and it did a lot of cool stuff at the time. So I have a lot of respect and love for the Dead Island franchise and the Dead Island fans. Excited to play Dead Island 2 in 5 years when it gets cheap. We'll see. But I don't know much about Dying Light besides I really wanted to play this series, I believe. The Sinking City, I don't know much about it. It's like a detective game. It'll be a cool change of pace. It's not normally something I play, so that'll be a good if I'm feeling bored one day. It's a great way to shake things up. I love playing genres of games I don't usually play. State of Decay 2, the second version of that zombie survival game. We'll see how it looks. It looks cool. We'll see how it plays. No idea if I'll like it or not. Anything else that I've played? I don't think I've played any of these games yet, because I'm just focused on Outer Worlds. There's only so many games you can play. I think right now I'm playing like Pokemon every day. I play that full time. My main channel, Petrowski. Dungeon Defenders, Outer Worlds, Destroy All Humans. I'm always in the middle of games here and there pretty actively. Dragon Ball 2 Xenoverse. Haven't played it. Don't know much about it. I remember Xenoverse, the first one releasing was a big deal. I feel like that was like, I remember that game releasing and it was a huge deal. Crackdown 3. I'll play Crackdown 1 and 2 first. I've always wanted to play this franchise. I don't think I played like a friend's house. I think I played this game at a friend's house for a little bit, and it's a wacky, over-the-top shooter with crazy like superpowers, and it's just all over the place. The Master Chief Collection for Halo. I'm super happy to have this. Is this truly all of the Halo games? I don't even know what this entails. Includes access to Halo 5. Is this the Master Chief's entire saga on one console? I've played Halo 1. I have not played Halo. I loved Halo 1 growing up. I tried to play Halo 3, but I couldn't really get into it. But maybe I'll be able to try again and enjoy it. Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to play Halo 2 for the first time. Haven't played through that yet. I loved Halo 1 growing up. The storyline, co-op, and 4-player multiplayer split screen couch sort of battling PvP. excited to play it, excited to explore Halo. Never was a huge Halo guy, but I have a lot of respect for it. I think anyone, when you hear that song, any guy who grew up around that era hearing that Halo song, it hits. No matter what connection you have to it. A duplicate of that game we just covered, the best deal. Wolfenstein. Never played the Wolfenstein franchise ever. I know it has some love and respect for being one of those id franchise games. Back during like Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein, Duke Nukem sort of era. It was one of those first FPS franchises that spawned out of that. So excited to play that one. We'll see if I go back and play the originals first. We'll see. Mortal Kombat. I'm not good at fighting games. I'm not good at fighting games. I suck at fighting games. The only fighting game I've ever been remotely good at is Brawlhalla. That's a really fun, fast-paced 2D platformer fighting game, but never been good at fighting games, but it'll be fun to explore the campaign or single-player experience. I'll be sticking to single-player only for that. Pac-Man Championship Edition has Galaga, Pac-Man, and Dig Dug on it. I have so many copies of Dig Dug. I really like Dig Dug. Dig Dug is one of those games. I think it's the poster, wooden sign poster there. Dig Dug is fun. It's just a fun game that really holds through. I feel like I don't know what's on this exactly. We'll see. I did like the Pac-Man arrangement set as well. There were some really good Pac-Man arrangement games on some GBA cart I had growing up. Gears of War 4. Excited to play. Once again, a lot of Gears stuff. I really enjoy the Gears franchise. Really dark and edgy and just fun memes. Just a fun shoot 'em up with a cool storyline behind it and a really cool. Gears of War doesn't get enough love for the world building it does. The world building, especially in Gears 1, they keep so much of mystery and they unveil it over time. They really naturally. Gears of War never treats its audience like they're idiots, even though it's just an idiot shoot 'em up. They're really good about, like, you just kind of experience the world. They don't tell you the world. They're not telling you anything. They just show you. Gears of War does a really good job of that. It's underrated. It doesn't get enough respect and love for that. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, no idea what this game's about. It looks, I have no idea. Action RPG. Sounds wildly fun. Not a huge DBZ guy, but also don't, kind of miss the era, I feel like, but I'm not opposed to it. Crysis Remastered Trilogy. I got Crysis on my 360 and I tried to play it and I couldn't really get into it. Maybe having the whole remastered trilogy will inspire me to enjoy it more. I think it will. I'm excited to play it. It has all 3 games remastered, 1, 2, and 3 on one disc. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to play that. And then The Walking Dead. I played the trial for this game. This is one of those 360 trial games. I played the trial for this game multiple times. So fun, but I've never finished it. So I'm excited to play through the entire game at some point. This will be a great game to sit around the living room as well and like have my girlfriend and maybe whoever wants to watch. This is a great viewer experience game if you don't already know the storyline and stuff. Really, really cool. Fantastic. Decision making, Telltale Games, storytelling game. All right, well, Gears of War 5 was sealed, and then on the way over to put the games on the shelf, as you can see right here, it fell out of my hands. I slid on it, and I ripped the seal, so that is now open. I guess I have to play it. Doesn't really matter too much. Maybe in the future that'll cost me some money, but it's like $9 sealed versus 5. It's whatever. But it hurt. It sucks. It's a little weird thing to happen. I slipped on it, but as you can see, we have the Xbox One shelf set up now, which is crazy. I didn't have a shelf dedicated to Xbox One games. You can see this background going to be filling out as we go over through more stuff. And I wanted to go ahead and talk about, well, first things first, there's this other shelf right here with the extra duplicate copy. This is going to be the sell shelf. So you see, if you see stuff enter that shelf, it's going to be sold off to a local store and traded in, which is really cool. I already talked about Rage 2 in depth. I absolutely love this game. I got the collector's edition for it for $30, and I'm so happy I did. It's such a good game. You get the Ruckus Crusher head. You get this cool case, which is actually over here, I believe. This is an awesome looking steelbook. I love steelbooks. I love collector's editions. This is so cool. The like graffiti style. I love the way this steelbook looks. I actually kept the seal. I try to do this when possible. When I almost never buy new games or play new games, but I want to almost like keep the security seal on it. It's kind of cool. I love this. And then it comes with a wing stick and the Ruckus head, and the Ruckus head does speak. Now, I'm not going to go through the efforts of opening it and showing you guys all of that. Plus, my girlfriend says I can never hang this up because she absolutely hates the way it looks, which is not probably the fairest complaint in the world, to be fair. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and cover some PS1 and PS2 stuff. First things first, let's start off with the only graded video game that I own, Bully. Now, I didn't buy a sealed copy and send it off to get graded. I still don't know that process, and I'd love to learn it. I have some sealed games, which I might want to do that with, but this is Bully, Black Label for the PS2. I got this for $113 or like $120-ish, 100 to 120. Pretty fair price. 9.2 A+, though. I'm really happy with the grade. Nothing crazy. I don't care about like super high grade. I like the idea of getting some graded games to show my love and appreciation. I almost had a sealed copy of SSX Tricky for $30, greatest hits on PS2, which is a really good deal. I think it goes for like 75 or 80, but the guy backed out after accepting the bid on eBay, unfortunately. But I got this because I 100% completed Bully this year. And it was one of my favorite games. I loved Bully growing up. I never really beat it or got super far into it growing up. I got around the first quarter, first 30%, maybe 50% at max done. It's a fantastic game. Bully is, in my opinion, my favorite Rockstar game. And I have a giant script written right now. The longest script I've ever written for any video is like halfway done for Bully. If you want to see a very, very long, full in-depth overview of this game, as well as going over my journey to 100% completion, leave likes and comments and subscriptions. It's a great way to motivate me because I've just been burned out on that project, but that'd be a really, really cool one to get done that I'd love to get done. But I love this game to death. It's a fantastic game, a really cool game to have graded. Black Label is fantastic. It's a lot more, it's a lot rarer than the greatest hits labeled PS2. And yeah, it's a great game. Bully is fantastic. My favorite Rockstar game. It's essentially GTA, but you're a kid in a school. Way more ramifications there, way more fun. It's a good meme. I do want to quickly note that I am very pro grading games. I think it's really, really cool when people preserve and just show off the trophies in the games that they love. It really bothers me when you see so many hateful people online either being jealous or envious or frustrated and just expressing negative feedback towards grading when I feel like it's such a vacuous position. One of the biggest things I'll just touch on really quickly is people always say that, oh, when you're grading a trading card, it's not meant to, it's grading it to show off or whatever. It's meant to be collected versus video games are meant to be played. This might shock a lot of people since the Pokemon trading card game, not many people know how to play it. It's still supposed to be played. If people want to collect video games or play video games, you can do both, you can do one, you can do the other. That's awesome. You should encourage that. If people want to collect or play a trading card game, that's awesome. You should encourage either or. As someone who was one of the few children in my neighborhood who knew how to play the Pokemon TCG, imagine if I was such a snob where I was like, I know how to play. You shouldn't be able to collect cards because you don't know how to play. I think it's just so misunderstanding. It's so unempathetic. It's so inhuman, and I think it's really frustrating and sad to see so many people be so angry towards people wanting to collect these things or calling it a scam or anything like that. You're paying for someone's professional understanding and opinion to grade something. This has existed forever. This is not a new age thing to video games. This is existed for comics, for trading cards, for 10s and 20s and even 30 years or so. It's been around forever. Grading and establishing, even thinking about like autographs. You pay people to certify an autograph. That's existed forever. And now people are saying like, oh, because you're grading video games, it's so bad. I think it's just people misunderstanding the same. It's a human loop. We're experiencing the same thing again, and people are once again upset about it again. Human loops, stay out of those human loops, be aware of them, be smart, think. Anyways, that discussion over. Controversial stuff sucks. Next up, quick little device that my girlfriend actually picked up for me as a present during Amazon Prime weekend, whatever. She knew that I wanted this. It's a PS2 hard drive converter. So this is one of the things you need to mod a PS2. And this was it's like $20 or something on Amazon. It was on deal during Prime weekend or whatever. And it was really nice of her. She knew that I needed this. She knew that I one day want to mod a PS2, and she picked it up for me. It was really sweet. It was a really great timing. She's phenomenal. I simp for her all the time on my videos. You see it all the time. I still need to pick up a hard drive and get the other stuff, but this is a huge step, and it's just a cool thing to work towards that. And modding PS2s is fantastic, especially with the hard drive mod, because First of all, you can revive PS2s that have broken disk drives. That's one of my favorite things. The fact that I can buy a lot of PS2s, one of the most common things that breaks on a fat PS2 is the disk drive. If the disk drive is dead, I can now make that console usable again and give it to someone or trade it or sell it or whatever and revive that piece of technology. That is really, really cool to me, as opposed to trying to have like just gut another PS2 for a disk drive or like some of the sort. It is really awesome that you can repair and save dead hardware and save landfills. We're like saving landfill space from just these broken, shitty console PS2s and bring them back and revive. I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool. I love that you can do that with a PS2 hard drive mod, and eventually I'll get one done. All right, next up we have a bunch of disc only stuff, starting off with Crash Bash. I'm actually super excited. This is the only North American Crash Bandicoot PS1 game that I didn't own. I actually own it in Japanese, hilariously complete in box, but I didn't own a US copy, and I have completed I've completed Crash 1, 2, 3, CTR, every other Crash game on PS1. It's just those 4. So I'm excited to go for this and complete this. Crash games are just so fun on PS1. I think it's really the game that I think of when I think of PS1, so definitely a game that I'll beat within the next year. A pain in the ass. People always say that the AI cheats really hard, and that's just kind of the meme, but that's okay. Random PS3 game, Resistance, Fall of Man, just one of that era's, bunch of shooters, bunch of FPS games of that genre. Let me know if it's good in the comments if you've played it. I don't really know much about it besides it's kind of one of those shooters of that genre. Harry Potter, the Sorcerer's Stone. Some Harry Potter platformers on the PS1. A fun little quirky game, just wacky. Perfect timing for Hogwarts Legacy's release to go play some Harry Potter memes. Original Grand Theft Auto. I've never played the first GTA. I don't know why my parents bought it from back in the day. I actually did play PS2 GTA 2 when I was young. GTA 2, if you don't know, the peak game design. It had one button for farting and one button for burping. That's how far the GTA franchise has come. Really just outlandish, stupid. GTA 2 was wildly fun, though. That top-down 2D. I played a lot of GTA 2 growing up. I'd love to get that game back. A lot of nostalgia for it. That open world. I barely followed the missions. I would just do like open world exploration, stealing cars. GTA 2 was really, really fun. I really, really liked GTA 2. It's crazy how far it's come, but original Pac-Man world. I don't have a whole lot of experience. I played Pac-Man World 3 on PS2. It's a pretty fun game. It's a pretty refreshing platformer, I would say. I'm excited to play this one and play through the bit of the franchise. Scooby-Doo Cyber Chase. I already own a complete in-box copy of this, so this will be added to the pile to sell, and that'll go on that shelf. I don't think anything else here is getting sold. Let me double check, though. I think I'm keeping most other things. Spyro Year of the Dragon. I do already own a copy of this. I believe complete in box. It might be missing the front thing, but that's going to be a sell as well. It's an extra copy. These are both extra copies. Croc 1, I already own. I've had a really hard time completing that game. It's really hard. That's an extra copy I'll sell. Croc 2. This Croc 2 copy, though, did come with the front manual, and I since transferred that over to my other copy of Croc 2, and buying this allowed me to complete Croc 2. Before I had Croc 2, with just the back plate and the disc and like an empty front case, and buying this via a lot allowed me to finish it. I really, really love like buying pieces of games and parts of games that'll get sold off to a local store and piecing them together. It's so fun. It's like a treasure hunt. I truly, I think it's an underrated part of game collecting if you want to do that macro style of collecting. Now, these are games that I've had for a while. I think that these were games that my local store passed on at the time, but they probably will want them again. Because they're just banger games, honestly. But they had too many copies of it at the time. But I'll go back and trade them in. Marvel Nemesis on PS2. 2 copies of Crash Wrath of Cortex. These are all extra copies. I'll end up selling a 3rd copy of Crash Wrath of Cortex. Jack 2. Crash Bandicoot Warped. These are all duplicates for me. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man. Just the first one on PS2. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. Now, this is not a duplicate for me, but I think that this game is maybe too scratched to work. This could be resurfaced. I think it might be too... It looks really good on camera, but it's actually pretty scratched up. This might work. I might go ahead and... I'll try to clean that up. That's pretty... A lot of these games are pretty scratched, though. Is another issue why they maybe didn't take them. But I know that they have a resurfacer there. Like, this one has a ring around it. This one's... When you get that ring... That's some pretty cooked stuff. So that is Spider-Man 2 on PS2. And then an extra copy of Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper is a game that held up really. And then Destroy All Humans on Xbox. I already have it on PS2. You see in the background here. That's those games. These games are all being sold at some point. Either as a scratched lot locally or something, or we'll sell. They're extras. I'll sell them off. Next up, I might keep the DBZ game now that I think about it, but we'll see. Some random, I think these are also getting sold. No, these are getting kept. These are cheap. RC Revenge, just some random lot game. Namco Museum Volume 3, George of the Jungle, but like the old like Disney reboot George. This was a weird show. Avatar: The Last Airbender on PS2, Frogger on PS2. These are games that I'm keeping that are disc only. These will get transferred over to my stay-at-home sort of stationary thing that I made a video talk about. If you haven't seen, I made a video called Why I Love Loose Disc Collecting, and I recommend checking it out. I think loose disc collecting is a lot of fun. You make a lot of money doing it. Sounds crazy, I know. NCAA football, sure, a football game. There's not that many NCAA games. I know that they stopped making those. And then Rocket Power. I actually wanted this game for a while, Rocket Power on PS2. So all of these will get moved after this video to my stationary cave. So we're sorting and organizing while going through all of this. Next up, Ultimate Spider-Man. I got this in a lot with these 2 other games. So these 3 games were in a lot. I forget how much I paid for this. This game alone is worth like $30. Code Lyoko on PS2. Code Lyoko, Quest for Infinity. A Code Lyoko PS2 missing manual PS2 platformer. This game's a rare game. I love Code Lyoko. My girlfriend hated it. She hates the art style. I really liked Code Lyoko. I think most gamers do. I mean, it has that sort of like, it was like the original isekai, like being transferred off into another world, like these random. I love Code Lyoko. This show was so imaginative and creative, and it was so enjoyable and so original for kids. Ultimate Spider-Man. Nice. Disc only. Ultimate Spider-Man's a pretty expensive game on PS2, and one that I did play growing up and have a lot of nostalgia for. Probably will be keeping that. And then all these like kids IPs that I haven't played this game. Ed, Edd n Eddy. Not a super expensive game, but it's like $15, something like that. Man, I loved Ed and Eddy. I love all of them. Double D, the smart one, Big Dumb Ed, and then Dumb Greedy Porno Magazine Eddie. Like, dude, they're just Eddie. I love Ed and Eddy. It was a great show. It was a great little children meme. And there were some fun times in that one. All right, moving on to another section. We're gonna be talking about Xbox original and Xbox 360 games, and I have a huge stack here. Let's see if I can show them without causing an absolute crash. A lot of stuff. These were from a couple different lots. We'll go ahead and talk about them one by one. I have some disc-only stuff. I have a sealed game. I have a console that I have been looking forward to for a long time, and I'm really excited to show it off. And it was the last hint. You'll probably know this. It was the last Xbox 360 console ever made. The last like variant. Let's go and talk about the disc-only stuff. We've got Grand Theft Auto Vice City from like the trilogy, like from the disc set, the box set. Nothing crazy, pretty simple, whatever. Madden 13, just from a lot, just sort of extra stuff, nothing crazy. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, a great pickup. I played this on original Xbox growing up as a kid. I love this game, fantastic game. I owned it on PC as well on Steam. Great game, excited to play through it on console. Should be a good kickback and have fun. It's a great game. Everybody knows that game. It's a BioWare Star Wars RPG. Minecraft on 360 for $5. I actually own this digitally on 360 as well, because I was one of those kids. I loved Minecraft. I was a huge Minecraft kid. I'm 25 years old. I caught the sort of, the beginning of it. I started playing Minecraft during Alpha 1.26, like during the last stage of Alpha. And I remember learning about it when it was still an in-dev stage. I had a buddy who showed me an IGN.com video. That's how I found out about Minecraft. And I remember watching X's Adventures in Minecraft from David Angel 64 and Co-Star, Co-Star, his Minecraft adventure, and his music really was meaningful to me as a child, and still is to this day. And all those Minecraft YouTubers, smaller ones, I was never a Yodcast guy, never anything like, I was too hipster as a kid even, but I loved a lot of those Minecraft creators that still mean a lot to me and were incredibly cool people. Minecraft for $5. I think it goes for like 10 or 15. Nothing, like not a crazy deal, but still solid. And this might be a bit of a hot take, a little bit of a speculation. I think that these hard copies of Minecraft, especially 360, there's a lot of people, myself included. I played a lot of I mostly played PC Minecraft, but I played Xbox as well. There's a lot of people who have specific nostalgia for this copy of Minecraft, for this Minecraft. There's a lot of people who are also people who want to own a physical copy of Minecraft. I think that this game will go up in time. When the Xbox 360 store closes, see you in a year, this game will definitely go up in my opinion. I think that this game is, yeah, Minecraft on 360. Some people yearn for this specific edition, this specific version. Some people built maps on this edition. It was not an unlimited map. It was like a boxed-in map. Some people built maps on here that they want to keep forever and want to cherish and with friends and multiplayer. And I think that Minecraft, the 360 edition, will actually go up in price once the store shuts down. I think it's a really interesting game to keep an eye on. Moving on. Alien vs Predator. I played the first level of this game. I got it for a good deal and a lot. It's a pretty fun, it's a crazy game. It's weird, the movement and everything. They did a surprisingly shocking job. You play as you play as the Predator, the Alien, and the Marine, which is really cool. You get the 3 different perspectives. My Xbox One just turned on. Do you guys have that? Now I'm ranting about something else. I think the Xbox One just has this known issue where it just randomly turns on, like, all the time. I didn't say anything. Why does it do that? Do you guys know? Leave a comment. What causes that? Am I doing something? Why does it randomly turn on? Is there a way to stop it? I don't know. Aliens vs Predator, really interesting 360 game that, yeah, it's kind of cool. Another copy of GTA 5. Just got in a lot. I'll probably trade it in. It is missing disc 2. It looks like it's missing the play disc. Just in a lot. Whatever. Can use the case or something. Destroyed case with the wrong, it's black case, it's wrong thing. Madden 12. It has the cool lenticular holographic, even I think holographic's the right word there, not lenticular cover. It has that artwork, which is pretty cool. Never played Madden 12. I'll give it a try. I actually really like sports games. I think sports games get a bad rep, especially nowadays, because like they're just not doing that great nowadays. And a lot of people, even like sports fans, are upset with how they're doing them. We'll get to that with the sealed game actually. I really like sports games. I think I have a lot of love for like Madden 06, Madden 08, FIFA 06, MLB 08 The Show, those sort of older sports games. I have a lot of nostalgia for, a lot of love for. I learned a lot about sports and a lot about the franchises from them. Back in the day, you could ask me, I could have named you the most random 64 overall center in Madden. I could name every character, every person. I knew everybody in the entire National Football League, the entire NFL back in like 06 and 08. I knew everybody because I did so many fantasy drafts. I did so many custom franchises and so many fantasy drafts that I literally knew everybody. I was so good. I've lost that knowledge since, but I was obsessed with football and with sports and that sort of thing. A Dungeons and Dragons game, Xbox only original, Dungeons and Dragons Heroes. I love Dungeons and Dragons Daggerfall. Is a really fun game, and it looks kind of, it might be turn-based, which is definitely different. But I'm sure I'll love this game no matter what. D&D just has that sort of aesthetic. I love that fantasy vibe. I'm much more of a fantasy medieval, dwarf, ranger, elf. I love that sort of stuff over sci-fi. I've never been a huge sci-fi guy. I prefer the medieval fantasy. So this game is underrated. This is one of those games, Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. What a dog shit title. But this game's actually good. This game was, I remember playing this as a kid, so wildly immersive, and the rain in this game looked incredible. This game on 360 is actually expensive because it's like a really beautiful game. It was very limited. It was made for the Xbox, PS2, and then 360 for whatever reason. Maybe GameCube as well, I'm not sure, but it got a small release on the 360. This is like broken down here. I would love to get a 360 version of this game because this game, I was scared in this game as a kid. Like this game was like a horror game and it was difficult, and this game was like one of the more graphically stunning games to me as a kid. And I remember, and you also like, I think you hear Jack Black and you like hear Jack Black's character, which is hilarious. Like you play it as him, and it's honestly a great game. It's one of those random movie tie-in games that actually is really good. I want to go play that. Battlefield Bad Company 2 from a lot. I already own a digital copy of it, but it's cool to get a physical copy of Battlefield Bad Company 2 Ultimate Edition. Cool game. Never played the campaign. I can do that now. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like Tom Clancy games. I never have. I remember my first Tom Clancy game was Tom Clancy like Rainbow Six Vegas or whatever, and I hated it. I hated it. It was one of my first Xbox 360 games, and I was like, this game sucks. No wonder it was $4 at GameStop. Ninja Gaiden on original Xbox in like a Blockbuster style renting case. It is the original art. Like, this is the right cover, and there's the discs and games inside. There's multiple discs. It seems like, or no, I forgot. I think that this actually has multiple games in it. Yeah, not only, although this one does have like a huge like indent in the disc, right? Hard to see on camera there. That might not work, but yeah, Ninja Gaiden. I buy a lot of these lots like untested, which is why I get them so cheap, and a lot of them work. I get a lot of success on them, or some of them might need resurface, but there's Ninja Gaiden, and then also Ninja Gaiden Black, which is an entirely different game, and both this is a very good deal. If I can get that Ninja Gaiden to work, that'd be really nice, but it looks pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. Quantum Redshift, just a random only Xbox. I want to start picking up these like exclusives if possible. Little fun arcade racer in a lot, nothing crazy. Mercenaries. I don't know much about this franchise. I see it all the time as an Xbox player, as an Xbox fan. It just seems like one of the, it kind of reminds me of Crackdown, like over the top shooter game, but maybe less over the top. Anything goes in this playground of destruction. You are a lethal mercenary. Your mission is to topple a sinister military regime by any means necessary. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if I'll enjoy that game or not. It could be, I don't know. We'll see. Unreal Championship 2. This is a cool little pickup. One of the more expensive Xbox, it's like 10 bucks, 15 bucks. Xbox games original are just really cheap, and it's crazy because just because no one has nostalgia for them, that's the only reason why. The Xbox had the best graphics out of that era. PS2, GameCube, and Xbox. Xbox is the one to collect for, but there's not a whole lot of nostalgia there, and I love the Xbox original controller. I do love the PS2 controller as well. Not a huge GameCube fan controller. I know, comments hate me for that. I'm sorry. Unreal Championship 2. I'm excited to play it. It's a cool id Software, or sorry, Epic Games, excuse me, not id Software. Epic Games made game, and yeah, excited to play it. Another copy, an extra copy. I think I already have a copy of this, but I was able to complete this with having some extra discs, which were laying around, which was pretty cool. But this is the Halo 2 collect. It's one of the most popular, one of the most common collector's editions of any game. Halo 2 collector's edition. Steelbook. It looks pretty nice. I'll just probably trade that off. That's probably an extra. Yeah, I'll have to figure out what out of this stack, because I know I wanted to trade some of this in out of this deck. I think I might even end up trading this game in. I'm not sure. We'll keep that. Or Mercenaries. Like Mercenaries, we probably trade in. I'm not super interested in it. Anything else? Ninja Gaiden, I might try to trade in if they'll take it, but I don't know if they will. We'll see. We'll do that later. An extra copy of Fallout 3. This is going to get traded in. It's just, well, it's not even in there. It's somewhere. I know that it's somewhere. Actually, wait a minute. I might have not owned a copy of Fallout 3. I think I might have not owned a copy of Fallout 3 before this. So this might be my only copy, and that's why it's in like it's probably in a case holder where I actually play it. That's hilarious. It's probably my copy of Fallout 3, but then I have like this extra, random disc holder. GTA San Andreas. Sadly, I think the game's not in here. Yeah, it's just, it has poster, manual. It's in really good condition. In case, but it's platinum hits. I don't own a copy, or own a Japanese copy of San Andreas, disc only, so I could put the Japanese copy in here and complete it that way. That's kind of cool, kind of wacky, kind of a good meme. And then probably one of the better games, I mean, quote unquote, not really better games, one of the better pickups from the lot, Spyro's Hero Tale, a Spyro game on post PS1. Spyro games just similar to Crash. A lot of them just failed. Excited to try it though. I think these games get like post PS1, especially Spyro's, actually get pretty expensive. I think it's like a $20 game or something like that, because and everybody played PS1 Spyro and loved them, but not everybody played the later ones. Same with Crash, like Mind Over Mutant, like all those games get pretty expensive because, and Twinsanity, because a lot of people want to come back and try them after playing the the originals. So excited. I'm one of those. Excited to try this and see how it goes. And I think that is everything out of that stack. There are some other over here I want to show. I'll show a poster off as well that matches something, which is cool. But here's the sealed game, okay? Now I'm keeping this in bubble wrap, or in the mailer that it was shipped in, but because I might end up, this is kind of hilarious, I might end up getting this game graded. It's not a very expensive game. This is I like getting games graded that I care about. This is, blew off it, sealed copy of Madden 08. I got it for like $5 shipped on eBay. Actually like a $20 sealed game. Madden 08 is a game that has like even like the little has everything on it. Everything. It's totally completely sealed. It says security device enclosed. Not the sold by date though, but yeah, Madden 08. I love this game. It's probably my favorite. It's my favorite Madden of all time. But what's so cool about it is that there's like a cult fan following for this specific Madden. The reason being, and this is the 360 edition, it sold less copies versus like the PS2 and like the other, because it was on PS2. It was one of those games that was on PS2 and GameCube and stuff, and then also did a 360 release later on when the 360 was made or whatever, in that weird era. But yeah, there's a cult following. A lot of people consider Madden 08 the last good Madden. There is a like multi-100,000 or million viewed YouTube video that talks about that. A lot of people consider Madden 08 to be the last good Madden. So there's a little bit of a cult following for it. So I'm really happy to have that game sealed for so cheap. It's a game that I actually have attachment to, and a game that could go up in price over time as more shitty Maddens continue to be made. But that's all the games covered. Now I do have two more things here. I have the console that I was talking about. This color is gorgeous. The Xbox 360E, it's not called the teal, but it's basically teal edition. This was released as a bundle with Call of Duty Ghosts and Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Really weird they did 2 COD games in one bundle, but sure. They did COD Blops 2 and Ghost in one bundle with this console, and it had some control. I don't have the controllers to match. I also don't have a power cord to test it, unfortunately. Got this for $50, which is a really good deal. This is like kind of, they're not hard to find. There's a lot of these on eBay, but I think that they'll get bought up. Not many of this sold. It was the last bundle, the last edition of the Xbox 360 to exist. Not many people bought the Xbox 360E as it was. If you don't know, from my understanding, the Xbox 360E was announced and released into retail stores the same exact day that they announced the Xbox One, which was coming out in like 6 to 12 months. So why would anyone go out and go buy an Xbox 360E when they could just wait for the next gen console for 6 months? Like, why would you ever, why it's so weird. One of the weirdest moves ever by Microsoft to release a different edition of the 360 console. And this was even later. This edition was even later. Like, this was a variant of the Xbox 360E. You can even see it has a very similar design. It has a different power button and stuff. A very similar design to the Xbox One visually. It looks different than original 360. It's way more, yeah, it's just different. Why did they do that, Microsoft? What were you thinking? Why would you release an E system and then also release the Xbox One in the same? I don't know. Some bad planning happened. And then next up, this poster. Now, I'm going to show you the side that I actually like. I actually prefer. It's a double-sided poster. I actually prefer this side because it explains to you how to sign up for Xbox Live, which is so cool to me. Like, I don't know why this is so cool to me. The other side is probably the side that most people prefer. Unreal Championship. It's a pretty big poster. It's like $10 or whatever. Pretty cool poster. Looks awesome. Fucking pretty epic. Pretty sick. I actually like this side. The how to sign up for Xbox Live. That is so much cooler to me personally, and I've been getting into poster stuff as I've talked about. So that's one of the posters that I picked up. I'll try to go over the posters when relevant, but I've kind of already missed that ship, I'm gonna be honest. While speaking about posters, let me show you one that I should have shown you guys a while ago. Let me get out of its protective case. I'll give you a hint. You can already see the crash on them. It's actually out of a magazine, but this poster was also like 10 to $12. I see it on eBay a lot for 25, and I got mine for like 12. I love this poster. It's from a Nintendo Power magazine. It's from a magazine. Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure poster. This poster is awesome, and for a Crash Bandicoot game that I love, I think is wildly underrated. I think it's like the most underrated Crash Bandicoot game. Crash Bandicoot on GBA I just love, and this one specifically was my favorite. What a sick poster. Him blasting off the destroyed Cortex balloon, the blimp in the background. It's just a sick poster. Vertical, really unique chip. I'm so happy to have gotten this. I almost bought this for like $17 a bit back, and I got it for 12 recently. So sick pickup. Probably my most desired poster, honestly. It's shocking how long I've been recording now, and I'm not even tired a little bit. Maybe my throat's a little sore, but I am so excited to talk about these video games. Usually I'd be exhausted by now, but I'm having a blast, and hopefully you guys are having a blast as well. Appreciate you making it this far into the video if you're still watching. All right, next up is an interesting section that I didn't expect to be picking up so many games for, but I saw some wildly good deals on eBay for them, and it's I bought so many of the kinds of console for them recently, so we'll go ahead and talk about it. Well, first things first, all of these are bought in lots and really, really cheap deals. This is Wii Sports, just an extra loose disc copy. I'm just going to trade this in. This is a sell fodder, trade fodder. This was $4. I think it goes for, like, if you trade it into a store, you'll get like 10. I think it usually sell for like 20. Wii Sports is a very, very desirable game. It's a really, really fun game. It's obviously like the game that made the Wii. Next up, onto actual Japanese Wii games. We have some of the, I believe... Someone's gonna meme on me. I don't know if they're beat rhythm games or the is it Tonka Ponka? There's some name for these. I'm gonna look like an idiot, like a dumb, American for not knowing these, but these fun rhythm-based Wii games. These were just in a lot. I didn't buy. I'll show you what ones I bought specifically or whatever to play, but I'll play. You'll try these. They're just music-based games. They should honestly be pretty playable, and they should be a lot of fun. I'll try those out, but I don't know a whole lot about them. Pikmin 2, this was a game that I did buy to play on the Wii. It's way cheaper in Wii format, and I got it in a lot, like I said. When I say got it a lot, I'm saying that, like, some of these games slash lots, I'm pretty sure I paid, like, some of these, like, $5 for, like, a lot of, like, 4 games or more. I got some really, really cheap deals on a lot of these. Pikmin 2, never played a Pikmin game. We'll be excited to try that out at some point. I don't remember what this game is called, but I remember looking it up. This is a wildly expensive game in English. If I could get some sort of translation for it, I would love to play it. It's some sort of what looks like to be a JRPG. I don't want to assume, but it looks like to be a turn-based JRPG. It's like an $80 game in English made by Sega. An $80 English game, but it's like 20 something in Japanese. They love these games in Japan, these like Power Pros baseball, just throw that in there. Honestly, probably very playable. Probably really fun. I played some of those as a kid, actually. Super Mario Galaxy 2, very playable in English. But as you may know on this channel, I dick on and I hate on Super Mario Galaxy a lot. I really, really didn't enjoy it, but one of the lots came with a copy of Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I own Super Mario Galaxy 1 in English, so I have that. Then I'll have the second one in Japanese, and I traded off the extra copy, the Japanese copy of Super Mario Galaxy 1 to a store and made profit on the lot, literally just by doing that. So that was super easy. Hilariously, some people may hate that. I could have kept the Japanese copy and then had Japanese Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Japanese 2. Some people would like that synchronicity a little more. The fact that I have English, the first one in English, the second one in Japanese may bother some people, but I kind of prefer it. Kind of a good meme. Some Mario Baseball in Japanese, once again, a lot of these games are pretty playable, even in the Japanese language. This is sort of a mashup. I remember looking this up. It's called Simple 2000. It's like a collection of games. These are actually pretty common over in Japan. They have multiple of these simple collections from what I saw. Not super familiar with them, but kind of just like think Wii Play, think random games, climbing rope, doing little American Ninja Warrior type challenges, lots of stuff like that. Just little fun games. And then this was just thrown in a lot. I don't really know much about it nor care about it. Joy Sound, some sound-based Wii game from Japan. Not something I'm super invested into. Next up, these two are really cool. These are big box sets for Japanese Wii. First up, Wii Sports Resort. Big box, comes with the additional upgraded like movement controls for the Wii, which I actually didn't have, so I can use that now, which is really cool. And yeah, Wii Sports Resort. I didn't own a copy of Wii Sports Resort. Very, very playable in Japanese. You can play without any language. A really cool big box copy. I love big box collector's edition. I love like the little window, the little captain window. I think you can open, or maybe you can't. I thought you could. No, it's like closed. Okay. I love this little window. That's such a cool little visual to me. And then next up, Animal Crossing on the Wii. The Animal Crossing on the Wii, and it comes with a little microphone which you can like talk to them with and stuff, which is really cool. Big box Animal Crossing. I will say I started buying Japanese Wii games. I don't know if I'll probably be able to play this, honestly. This is actually probably playable on the Wii in Japanese. Really, it looks it's an awesome shelf piece, and it was super cheap, super cheap. I did buy this initially because I needed some sort of Japanese Wii game to test all of my Japanese Wiis. It's a region-free console. A lot of them play, but like the Wii disk drive is weird. So like some, and they're broken in different ways. Some of my Japanese Wii disk drives will play GameCube games only, and then like not play Wii games, or some will play Wii games only but not play GameCube games. They're all the RVL001. They're all GameCube compatible, but some of the disk drives are just broken. And then some of them will play, even though it's region free, some of them will only play Japanese games. Some will only play English, even though they're Japanese Wii's. They're just, it's very, very strange. I don't know how the disk drives, it's very, very strange. So I needed an English Wii game, a Japanese Wii game, an English GameCube game, and a Japanese GameCube game to be able to fully test all 15 Wii's. So that was a huge reason why I kind of went into that collecting little stratosphere, and I got sucked into it, and there were some great deals, and now I have a little bit of a Japanese Wii collection, hilariously, which I just didn't intend to get. There's the stack, looking pretty solid, trying not to have it tumble over. All right, after a lot of talking and a lot of showing off stuff, we are finally winding down on the collection pieces. I have a quick little stack of random little straggling things to go through. I have a random PS3 copy of MW2, extra copy. I don't own it on PS3, so it's cool to own one of my favorite games. I mean, everybody loves MW2. Cool to own one of these games on PlayStation. I always played on Xbox growing up. I'll give it a try if I want to replay the game, get some trophies or something. We have some DVDs here. I don't do a whole lot of DVD stuff, but I do want to start a small physical media collection. I think I'm kind of being pulled in that direction as a collector. It just always happens. 2 little Pokemon DVDs. I ended up getting these. One's marked at $4 and the other's at $2, but they were half off because they were there for like a period of time. This one is... There's like one specific episode, Thundershock, Krabby, Pikachu versus Raichu. Oh, actually I remember that. It's a good episode. I remember it. And this is the Orange Islands Adventure, and this contains 12 episodes. So this is definitely a lot more bang for my buck versus this one. I think it's just 1 episode. Oh, this one contains, okay, this is 3 episodes. This is 12. So honestly, really cool. I don't see a whole lot of Pokemon DVDs out at thrift stores and stuff in my local area. I feel like they get bought up, honestly. So yeah, pretty cool to see that. And then Bionicle, the movie, I see this at a lot of thrift stores. It was $1, half off or whatever, $1. I watched this as a kid at a friend's house. I love this scene with them surfing through lava. I have nostalgia for this movie, so that's kind of why I got it. Not a huge Bionicle guy, but I do have the nostalgia for it, and I'm excited to watch it and see what I remember. And then a quick horror movie. I'm not going to look at too much, but horror movie, House of the Dead. This is a horror movie based on an arcade video game, from my understanding. I have no idea if it's good. It's got a really creepy cover. No idea if it's good or not, the movie itself, but it's, from my understanding, it is a horror game based on an arcade movie title, I believe, from my understanding, which is very... That's cool. I like picking up DVDs and movies based on games. I love to get like the Tomb Raider and the Resident Evil. There's other ones I can get. The Final Fantasy DVD. I'll get those in the future. I'll at least keep an eye out for them in the future for sure. Once again, one of my favorite parts of this pickup video by far is just being able to finally put everything on a shelf and organize it. Has been a huge weight off my shoulders. It feels very productive. It's like when you clean and you have that huge rush of dopamine after, like, you know, you organized, you had your living space, you're cleaned up a bit, and it's going to feel nice once it's fully done. Next up, another thrift store find. This is kind of a big one. It's a big piece of art. As I talked about, I've been getting a lot into, see the posters up there, a lot into room decor and posters and everything, and kind of getting into that little sphere. This was insane to find at a thrift store and to find that no one had bought it yet. I'm not a huge Evolution guy, but look at this. It was like $5. This is a beautiful piece of art. I don't know if this was custom printed, custom made. I have no, the glare is, the reflection's funny. I have no idea where this came from. But this is a beautiful, large, framed piece of Eevee art. I'm not a huge Evolution kind of guy, but the chibi art style, the chibi, it's fucking cute, dude. It's goddamn cute. I'm happy to have it. Happy to have this displayed in the room. I love Pokemon, obviously. It's sick. Not my favorite line of Pokemon, but I look at the Glaceon down there, down over here. I'm happy. I'm so happy with this. What are the odds of finding this? Who made this? How did this happen? How did this come about? Yeah, I don't know. That was awesome to find at a local thrift store. And then next up, we'll grab this. Now, this is a cool piece. I will say, I didn't leave negative feedback, but I didn't leave positive feedback either. And we'll get into this. I had the worst eBay experience I've ever had this year purchasing some stuff, and we'll get to that in a second. Unfortunately, I wish I could have just returned it, but it was a pain. This wasn't that bad. The person shipped it wrong. They shipped it It's an Atari Jaguar controller, complete in box, which is really, really cool. I think I got it for like 35 and they go for like 60 or so. They go for like 35 just loose. The box is pretty beat up though. That's the catch, but this is going to look awesome displayed on a shelf. I love the Jaguar. I don't own one. It's a dream console of mine to own one day, sort of an end game goal for my collection. The controller itself is in really good shape. Some like dust and a little bit of wear, but I don't know. It looks pretty... It's in great condition. Now, what happened is, you can see it fits perfectly in the box like this. They shipped it, for whatever reason, the person at the store put it like this, and when they put it like that, it squeezed the sides of the boxes out. I don't know why they did it. They, like, put a square through a circle hole. It makes no... I don't know why. Maybe they're just having a bad day, or they just, you know, were careless and really didn't realize, but I don't know how that happened. But silly mistake from an employee, even hurt the box. Like, as you can see, it just hurt the box even more, and I knew I was already buying a beat up box. That was unfortunate. I don't know why they did that. It was weird, but not really worthy of a negative review on feedback. Or I didn't even mention it to them. I was like, hey, like, I didn't say anything. Usually I do if something like is like damaged upon shipping or shipped like that. I'd be like, hey, you know, in the future, like just turn the controller. Like, it doesn't have to be. Yeah. Unfortunate that it got damaged even more because of just a silly packaging decision, but a really cool piece to add to the collection. And just, man, Jaguar is awesome. Probably should have my camera tilted up this way the whole time, but like even this Jaguar metal sign and these metal signs in general, this other one, the Sega Saturn, I love that eBay seller. He does a great job on signs. We'll talk about eBay signs in a sec, because I could do a whole video reviewing eBay signs. I bought many different signs through my sign era from many different sellers on eBay. I kind of know who has the best signs, what signs to avoid, aka tin signs, Tin Man. We'll get to that in a second. But first things first, Star Wars Infinite, just a quick little thing. I think I bought this for $5. I think it goes for like 15. I like big box stuff, even if it's cheesy big box stuff like this. I'm a sucker for toys to life stuff. I haven't tried Disney Infinity yet. I doubt it's good. But I'll never forget how excited I was. I was so excited for the Spyro Skylanders. When Skylanders came out, I was blown away. The game's not great. It's really basic and simple, and the exciting thing is that, imagine if they made a Toys to Life game with an actually good and deep game. That would be crazy. But so far, they've only done Toys to Life with the most shallow platformer or most shallow hack and slash thing ever, and it's just kind of lame and boring. But imagine it could be good, so I'm gonna keep hoping, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see. I'll give it a try. We'll see if we can have some casual, you know, maybe a little drunk fun. I feel like these games are good to like have a drink to and just kind of turn your brain off and just hack and slash and meme. I haven't played this one exactly. That's how I feel with Skylanders for sure. All right, next up, I have to talk about the worst experience I've ever had on eBay. This seller guilt tripped me. They acted like I was being an asshole. They did all these things in eBay DMs. We had so many messages, and they were horrendous. I don't talk about it too much, because I could just sit here. It'll just make me sad. But these tin signs, they might look fine on the camera. This one, for example, is very, very blurry and warped. The issue was all of these signs. This one looks mostly fine. This is one of the better ones for sure. All of these signs, you can see they're scratching on it though. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to see on this camera. They're scratching there, but that's not that bad. That's fine, right? All of these signs showed up really low quality, like insanely low quality. This one, why did he keep this? Why is this not cut off? He didn't like adjust. And this is very blurry. You can kind of even see it on the camera, the like fuzz, the fuzziness on the logo. This sign it's way blurrier IRL. This sign is really low quality and really blurry, and it's warped. That one's not that bad. These are the better ones, which is hilarious, but these signs were really, really, really bad. This Donkey Kong one is super, on the barrel you can see it, they arrived like this. It's scratched up all over here. It's really dinged up. And mildly warped again. We have some more warped ones we'll get to. These just came. I recommend avoiding the Tin Man seller, any Tin Boy, I think his name was, Tin Boy on eBay. I've never had such a bad experience in my entire life, and he blamed me and I really reached out to him, and I was really polite, and I was like, hey man, I'm sure a lot of this happened in the shipping process. I was very nice. I was like, I'm sure that I even asked him, I was like, hey man, you seem to be an expert in tin, this material. How do you recommend that I unbend them, or how do I straighten them out? This one is, look at this. This arrived like this. This is wildly warped. That is unacceptable. That is crazy. Just terrible. It's burger time. It's some cool retro signs, but they just came warped. They came scratched to all hell. You can see at the top here, it's just all dinged up already. And I know it's a sensitive material, and I'm prepared for them to be worn over time, but they shouldn't show up like this just due to poor packaging and stuff. We'll just focus on the positives. A cool little, they're all dinged up and warped from this point. That one's not too, I bent this one back a little bit. Old Mountain Dew logo. We'll focus on the actual art instead of the bad experience, but I just don't recommend it. It was a terrible. This one's a really cool piece of art. Sunset, Sarsaparilla, Fall, New Vegas. But look at, you can see the scratching on camera clear as day on this one. Everywhere down, it's just scratched to shit upon arrival. And they wouldn't refund me. They wouldn't offer anything. They did, but they took it back. This was the worst eBay communication experience I've ever seen. They offered a refund, but then rescinded it. They didn't respond for weeks. They acted like they were doing so much to help. I remember him saying something like, this was insane, like delusional behavior. He said something like, man, I don't understand why people are so rude. All I try to do is help. I guess it's just the state of the world we live in. And that's when I was like, dude, what? You've been nothing but unhelpful, nothing but avoiding. Look how warped this is. He was terrible, and then played the victim and acted like he was. It was an insane experience. Mud root beer sign though, pretty base. Anyways. Avoid Tin Boy on eBay. That's the meme. Not that this will really reach anyone. There's better signs. There's some great signs, some fantastic sign makers on eBay. I don't want you to avoid all sign makers. There's some great sign makers on eBay. I'm gonna put these. For example, these ones. These signs are phenomenal. I forget who it was that made these. Let's go ahead and see if I can figure it out. Arrowhead Outdoor Productions. I don't know, man. I don't know what the eBay seller was, but these signs are phenomenal. They were wrapped in plastic. This Paperboy sign, this looks so good. These were $2 a piece more than these signs. Not a price quality difference. These were just bad signs by a bad seller. This sign looks awesome. So sick. And there's another one packaged on the back, Bubble Bobble. Both of them safely shipped, safely packaged, just with some plastic. Absolutely gorgeous looking signs. This one, Alien vs Predator, looks incredible, color popping, beautiful, high quality. I couldn't be happier. This seller killed it, and if you do eBay stuff, you know this seller made my day. The fact that this other seller was so frustrating, so stressful, just had a horrible experience, and that this seller, and I lost like 50, 70 bucks on his signs, and that this seller was just the easiest, best, over the top, like overachiever. It makes you have faith again. This Rampage sign is gorgeous. This Burger Time sign is gorgeous. These look incredible versus the other ones. You could probably even see it on camera. Like the quality difference is crazy. So that's my eBay signs adventure. It's unfortunate that I had that huge issue with the one guy. I'll just never be buying from him ever again, or encouraging people to never buy from Tin Boy on eBay ever again. Don't do it. It's insane. It's insanity. They're crazy. Sorry to have such a negative. It was really bad. Sorry to have such a negative tangent, but that's all those signs. We have some more posters and stuff though. Let's cover some more stuff. All right, there's two posters I want to cover. This one is huge. We'll get to that one in a second. Let's do this one first. I'm not a huge Mario guy. I'm not a huge Mario fan. I don't know what it is, but I'm not. But this was like 10, 12 bucks shipped. I'll just straighten it out or whatever. But this Mario Strikers, it's a big long ways poster. This is so cool. The art style. This will be great on like certain walls, on certain angles. Like having different shaped posters is really important in a game room to really get every little nook and cranny. Having this super long ways poster, this is gonna look incredible. And the art style on it, not a huge Mario guy, but dude, this Mario Strikers art style, this alone, I would have paid like 10, 12 bucks for. Gorgeous. This was clearly like a GameStop display. This was used to advertise for the game at like a GameStop or some sort of store, which I think is really cool to start picking up displays and posters from stores. I think it's a really cool thing to collect. And then finally, this poster. This is a Pokemon Go poster. And I was interested in it, but what really made me buy it was my girlfriend said she loved it and she thought it was really cute. She's the key to my heart. So let's go ahead and show it off. This is a giant poster. I'll try to do this. properly. This was another retail, like, GameStop. I'll try to yell so words don't cut out. GameStop-centric poster. This was put up at retail stores to let people know. Oh, it's going to be hard to unroll, guys. I'm sorry. It's so big. Oh, my goodness. It was to let people know that there was both the Pokemon... This will have to get pinned up. The Pokemon trading card game. The Pokemon Go set for the trading cards were out, as well as... It's so big! Pokestop here. The coolest thing about this poster... I'm going to let it roll up, because it needs to be, like, pinned down. I love that it says Pokestop here. That is just so cool to me. Like, it's something like, it's almost like, I don't know. It just screams cool retail sign for me. Hey, come to my house. I have a Pokestop. My girlfriend literally lives on a Pokestop, so it's fitting. I think it's wholesome and cute, and I love the idea of, hey, we have a Pokestop here at our house, hanging this in like the living room or some cool thing. I think that's a really cool, I don't know. I think it's such a cool sign. One of my more favorite posters. I got it for a good deal. I think I got it for 20 or 30. It's a giant poster, guys. Like, wow. 20 or 30 bucks, and the only other one I saw on eBay was like 100. And I think they sold for like 60, 70 plus. So and they sold for, I had a couple sell for 100. I saw a couple sell for 100. So happy to have it. Really cool, unique poster. Now, ladies and gentlemen, people of royalty, we are on to the final thing that I want to talk about, and it's a big one. There's a $120 lot, $130 lot on eBay, and there's just so many things in here that I'm going to show off. It's a ColecoVision lot, and my zoomer is going to show, because I try to learn as much about it as possible, and I appreciate patient retro gamers who have been doing this for a while, who have patience with me. I want to learn. I'm interested. I'm hungry. I'm young. I'm naive. I want to understand. I want to learn. So a lot of games to show off here. Donkey Kong on ColecoVision and Venture. Donkey Kong, from my understanding, it was like the best way to play Donkey Kong back in the day was on the ColecoVision, and it was a pack-in title, and they secured a deal with Nintendo to do that, and that was a really big deal in the success of the ColecoVision. We'll get into one of my other favorite things about the ColecoVision, because it's not just ColecoVision games in here. Here's Space Fury. There's a lot of classic games in here. We'll see. So it's 3 games. Some Atari 2600 games. The infamous E.T., Sword Quest Earthworld. Sounds cool. I don't know a whole lot about it. We'll see if I enjoy it. Mousetrap. I still need to go ahead and get is Burger Time. All those signs I showed off. I still need to go ahead and get a proper TV, or probably a VCR is what I'm going to get to hook up the ColecoVision. I've already tried. I've already been struggling with setting up the ColecoVision, and that's going to be a whole zoomer tackle in itself. Smurfs on ColecoVision, Haunted House on ColecoVision. None of these are complete in box. They're all just cart only, but that's okay. It's the first section of bubble wrap. Then I have this other bubble wrap section that I haven't unwrapped yet that I'll go ahead and unwrap for you guys. Let me spare you the noise really quick. This is some sort of holding device he just jammed a bunch of games into to ship it. It was a local store, not local to me, but it was a small game store that I bought this from, and it was a really good deal. Q*bert. I always loved the aesthetic of Q*bert. I've always wanted to play it. I believe that is for either Coleco or Atari. I'm not sure which one. And you'll see why at the end. My favorite thing about the system, and it's so interesting to me as a zoomer, this is one of the most interesting things in video game history to me. Galaxiar, which is like the sequel to Galaga, if I'm not mistaken. Another copy of Donkey Kong on ColecoVision. Frogger. I loved Frogger on GBA growing up. I'm excited to play some classic Frogger. Miss Pac-Man, one of the better Pac-Man games from my understanding on the Atari. Popeye, some of them are a little aged. Popeye. I used to watch Popeye cartoons growing up. I don't know if I'll like the game or not. We'll see. Cabbage Patch Kids. I've heard this is actually like a really good 2D side-scrolling platformer. Cabbage Patch Kids Adventures in the Park. It's actually supposed to be a very good game. And Coleco, to my understanding, is the company that, if I'm not mistaken, was the company that owned Cabbage Patch Kids, if I'm not mistaken. Might be confusing them with a different company back then. Carnival, I've heard of. Don't know much about. Pepper 2. Don't know much about. Heard of. Cosmic Avenger, I've never heard of, know nothing about. I'm excited to see some ColecoVision recommendations because this is truly something I know nothing about. Subrock, I like the font, know nothing about it. Nova Blast, used with ColecoVision, I don't know anything about that. Reactor, love the art, know nothing about it. And then Donkey Kong Jr. as the final game, and that is that taken care of. But there is some more stuff to cover. Don't worry. Obviously, we have the we'll get to the ColecoVision itself. We've got the one controller. We've got both controllers. Kind of I'll tidy stuff up one sec. Look at this absolute brick shit house of a power brick. This thing is fucking ginormous. Bigger than my microphone. But from my understanding, it seems like this ColecoVision lot came from a modern collector. It seems like a modern collector traded this into a local store and then they couldn't test it, so they sold it as untested. So it might just not work, but it seems like a collector owned this. The reason why is because I have this little cord. Oh, I just tore it off. But this little piece, from my understanding, is meant to be a converter, and people buy this specifically to play the Coleco on more modern TVs with this sort of RCA, or I believe this is an RC output. It's supposed to be radio RF. I sound like such a zoomer. RF, radio frequency, is what it stands for. I do know that at least. And then ANT is antenna. So I have to figure out how to connect to this fully. I'm still learning. I've tried on a different TV and it just didn't work. And I have ANT connections. I don't know if I can connect it. I think I have to get an RF TV. I don't know if RF and ANT are the same. I've already watched a bunch of videos and a bunch of guides, and I'm honestly still struggling. Random game in here, Ladybug. I've heard very good things about Ladybug. A lot of people, it's their favorite game on the ColecoVision. I'll have to try more stuff because I'm just stumped. There's a second controller. I've got both controllers, another random cord. They really included every cord that just came with it, just in case. Like the local game store, another random. Like they really wanted me to have everything possible to connect it. Here's the switch box, I believe is what it's called. The antenna switch box. Radio Shack. Yeah, we'll see. And here is the system itself. ColecoVision. The controllers are obviously missing from it. It still has like the consumer note on it, which is really cool. And then I've always loved, look at this, like the color of the ColecoVision. It still looks, this looks really good in my opinion. The color and the beauty of this system is really cool. You notice the expansion module right there. And I know at release, the ColecoVision was meant to be kind of like a computer where you could upgrade parts to it. It didn't really play out like that so much, but they intended it for it to be an upgradable, full at-home like media experience. And one of the releases that came out for it, which was why I loved this lot, it was a really good deal on the lot. I think the lot was ended up being worth like, I paid like $130. I think it was worth like $250, something like that. This is a gem of video game history. This is the ColecoVision Expansion Module 1. I'm sure most people watching have heard of this, but this blew my mind to hear about. This is an expansion that you plug into the ColecoVision, and what it does is it allows the ColecoVision to play Atari 2600 games. How was this legal? It wasn't really. They got sued for copyright, ended up having to pay Atari on a bunch of fees, essentially, for like everyone sold or something like that. This was, imagine, it's always compared, I'm just repeating other great content creators' words. Imagine if Microsoft released a like $50 third-party plugin you put into the Xbox Series X, like USB, and it just plays PS5 games. That's the equivalent. And Sony's over here like, what the fuck? What the hell? How is that allowed? And it's not. It's wildly illegal. But that shit was the Wild West back then. Back when video games were IPs and shit were wildly misunderstood, undertapped. Like, this is an insane piece of video game history. And I am so happy to own one. Even if this whole thing didn't work, I am wildly happy because this alone is just hilarious to me and incredible and awesome, and I love it. I think it's just such a once again Wild West piece of incredible video game history. That is so fucking funny to me. All right, but with that box covered, I still have to put away all my ColecoVision stuff and some of the more posters and everything, but a lot of stuff is up on the shelf. Thank you, dude. Thank you guys for watching. What a long video. Hopefully a fun video, an exciting one. I really enjoyed recording it. I have no idea how long it's going to be. Hopefully it's enjoyable. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Dislike if not. I always do encourage genuine feedback. Let me know in the comments what I could have done better, what you would like to see, other types of content. Do you like the pickup videos? Do you like other stuff? This is not really worth my time. Let me know. I enjoy it, but it can depend, right? I enjoy lots of stuff, so I'm happy to shake it up. Subscribe to the channel for more retro video game content and video game content in general. Essays, pickup videos, speculations, market, anything. I love video games. I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to be me. I'm Retro Pat. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Peace.